Let's get ready to rumble!
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Who's this Igor dude that AJ's talking about? Alright, so apparently Usyk played some character named Igor von Chanchin in some film called The Smashing Machine. But there's no coach named Igor in Team Usyk. I know there's Sergei Lapine there. Who else is there? Who's he talking about? Who's training him? Why is he always so cryptic? Is it Anatoly Lomachenko?
I don't know.
He revealed why he split with Ben Davison. He said that London has become somewhat of a distraction. In the press conference with Jake Paul, it looked like he scaled down some of the business ventures he was in so he could focus more on his boxing. Joshua praised Davison as a phenomenal coach and claimed he only left due to London being a distraction. So he's trained with Team Usyk in Spain. They've been doing some good training, and he said Usyk being one of the best in the world, it's not all down to him, it's down to his team. So he linked up with them. He said getting an insight into how someone who has achieved so much has been phenomenal. Igor will be my head trainer on the night when he fights Jake Paul. I just worked it out. Usyk is going to be AJ's head trainer against Jake Paul. I just worked it out. Olexander Usyk's role in Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight to be revealed. Well, I guess it's a 1,000,000 to 1 shot that Jake Paul can get a W against AJ. So Usyk's lack of experience as a trainer and the randomness and spontaneity of it all shouldn't have a bearing on the inevitable. On what we're saying is the inevitable. It's going to get a few tongues wagging though. What do you think? And remember, who spotted it first? Yeah? Accept no imitators. It's obviously not going to be a permanent thing because Usyk's got his own career. So is he going to go back to Ben Davison, or is he going to keep training with Team Usyk and perhaps unveil who's actually going to coach him?
I don't know.
Sticking with Team Usyk, Sergei Lapine has addressed Usyk's decision to relinquish his WBO heavyweight title. He was ordered to defend against Fabio Wardley, who won the interim title from Joseph Parker last month. However, 2 weeks later, the WBO were informed of Usyk's plan to go another route. As a result, Wardley was anticlimactically elevated to full world champion via email. Baffled by Usyk's decision, Wardley admitted that he was unsure as to why the cat had vacated the belt. Attempting to shed some light on the situation, Sergei Lapine told pro boxing fans Alexander Usyk vacated the belt to give young boxers a chance to fight for it. Sounds very admirable what Usyk's saying, but it's all about the money. They don't believe there's no value in a Wardley fight. Turkey Al-Sheikh is probably not going to put no money into that. And Frank Warren and DAZN ain't paying the type of money that Usyk will be expecting. So, I don't believe that. So who is Fabulous Wardley going to fight next? Moses Atoma is the #1 ranked contender for the WBA, but obviously they share the same trainer, Ben Davison. I don't think Frank Warren is going to go for it either. You've got Lenier Perrault, #2. Martin Bacoli at #3. Nelson Heiser, never seen him fight, never heard of him, at #4. I don't know jack about this Heiser, but that don't mean he can't fight. I've just never heard of him, just never seen him fight.
I think Benavidez is a little bit better than we maybe expected. I think he's deceptive with his punches.
Not really. We were expecting that. We were expecting the punches in bunches. The main thing was to try and keep boxing him, keep catching him, coming in. But we saw why so many people don't want to fight him.
Yeah.
You know, people are turning him down. But again, Ant chose the path of greatness, and you know, it's just one of those things. We're all upset, but it is what it is.
I'm not going to kick Yard and Tunde while they're down. I'm not going to do that. But there's a few times that either AY or Tunde have mentioned that people turned down the Benavidez fight and they took it. And they're saying they chose the path of greatness. And they also give themselves a lot of credit for taking Kovalev on when they were relatively inexperienced. Here's the thing though, apart from their endorsements from Adidas, etc., how else would you make big money unless you fight the champion? I bet there's a big difference in the checks between fighting Lyndon Arthur and BETERBIEV. Do we really give credit for fighters taking their world title opportunities? When another botched negotiation to make the Boatsy fight came and passed, Tunde was saying Yard is the A side because they fought BETERBIEV and Kovalev, 2 fights they lost. But at the same time, Boatsy was ranked higher in the sanctioning bodies than Yard, and went on to become the WBO interim champion, which he obviously lost to Callum Smith. And that's one of the issues, is the participation prizes they're awarding themselves. Fight Fan Live, big yourself up in the comment section, he informed me that Benavidez only had 15 amateur contests. Yard had around 12. So they're basically even in terms of amateur experience. And David is 7 years younger than Anthony Yard, but he's so much more matured as a fighter. And this is what I was talking about with Tunde relocating back to London. Him and Yard basically became big fishes in a small pond. And this is not directed at them per se. This is a preemptive warning to British boxing and us getting too comfortable in the fact that we've had all these stadium fights and people keep talking about London is the fight capital of the world. We've got the best fight fans in the world. Well, we have 2 male world champions in the United Kingdom. A lot of our fighters are not versed in the dark arts. I'm not saying the coaches have got to turn them into dirty fighters, but we shouldn't be getting mugged off in the infighting, in basic things like clinching, not being able to pace fights, getting outsmarted. And some of our fighters do need to relocate, get out of their comfort zone, like Jack Catterall has done. We don't want to hear about all this homesick shit like David Price when he relocated to America back in the day. Big 6'8" or 9. He's taller than Tyson Fury. David Price was getting homesick when he was working with Tommy Brooks and had to come back. And we saw how his career panned out. He didn't fulfill nowhere near his potential as an Olympic bronze medalist. R.I.P. Tommy Brooks. You got the Liverpool bantamweight from back in the day, Alan Rudkin, who they say is one of the best British fighters to never win a world title. Now, this was when there was just WBC and WBA titles. He had to fight the likes of Fighting Harada in Japan, lost a 15-rounder, WBC bantamweight title. He fought Lionel Rose, great Australian fighter, for the WBC World Bantamweight title and Commonwealth title 1969. Lost another 15-rounder in Australia. And then to cap it all off, another shot at the WBC World Bantamweight title against Ruben Olivares, one of the biggest punchers in the history of boxing. And he got blown out in the second round. Did we give Alan a prize just for participating? Yeah, to a certain degree. He lost a split decision to Lionel Rose, which would have probably been a win in the UK. Now, Rudkin is probably in the British Hall of Fame, but he's not in Canastota, the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He's not there. Former British, Commonwealth and European champion. Fought all comers, domestic and international. And no disrespect to Yard, but Rudkin had to fight way harder for his opportunities than most British fighters we see today. Like, you take Sam Noakes, who challenged Abdullah Mason, and I knew this was going to be a tough fight. I had a feeling. I didn't predict. I didn't make a prediction. And if Sam had a little more head movement, a little better footwork, because at times he just stood there and waited for Abdullah to crack him with that backhand from the southpaw stance. When I broke the fight down, I said there's a good chance that Noakes is going to be the physically more mature of the two. And I think I'm correct there. He's 28. Mason is a kid. He's 21. This was a good opportunity to catch a green fighter and upset the odds. Just a little more savvy, a little more tweaking of Noakes' game. He could have won that title. Ben Whittaker. He makes his Matchroom debut this Saturday in Birmingham for the WBC Silver Light Heavyweight title. You do realise he's just a few months younger than Benavidez, just a few. And obviously Ben had a more established amateur career, won a silver medal in the 2021 Olympics. He threw the medal away because he wanted gold and silver wasn't good enough as far as he was concerned. But when you think he's only had 10 pro fights, Benavidez is at 31, a world champion in 2 weights, regardless of how he come by the belts. Whittaker hasn't even fought for a British title yet. And look all the headlines he gets in the UK. Big fish, small pond mentality. You know, Turkey is entitled not to want to fuck with Devin Haney no more because this is Turkey's money. And he's not listed as a promoter. He can buy whatever fights he wants. Like Netflix, they buy fights. But Eddie talking all that shit about Devin Haney, a 3-weight world champion, when he promotes Sky Nicholson, who is way worse to watch than Devin, way, is a joke. And, you know, here's the truth, yeah? If you're a fan, you can talk about who's boring and who you don't want to pay for, and you're entitled to do so. Eddie is listed as a promoter. His dynamics are different to Turki Al-Sheikh. It's up to the likes of Eddie and Frank Warren to deliver world title fights, not tell us what styles the fighters are supposed to fight in. It's Eddie's job to get welterweight contenders who are capable of beating Devin Haney. That's the bottom line of it. Yeah? Now, if you don't think Conor's up to the job, go a different route. Wasn't he talking big about nobody's going to want to fight for Dana Zufa belts? Boxers want to fight for sanctioning belts. Well, Devin has a sanctioning belt. Regardless of how he fights, he has a sanctioning belt. Eddie's never produced a freeweight world champion from the United Kingdom. Never. And all these people who are saying Devin is boring, nobody wants to watch him fight. Well, that's not strictly true, right? When Devin lost, well, they reversed Ryan's win to a no contest. He was on peds. But people were so happy, even when they found out Ryan was pedded up, that Devin got beaten up. People will pay to see Devin get beaten up. Yeah? He's a freeweight world champion, just like a lot of people paid at the gate to watch Muhammad Ali, hoping he'd lose. Now, don't act like I put Devin up there with Muhammad Ali, but it's a similar dynamic. They want to see Devin lose. And for a chance of that to happen, you got to match him with the best. And I expect the promoters who are claiming that they're sticking by the sanctioning belts to do their job. You can't have the welterweight division in 2025, 2026 and pretend that Devin isn't in the room. You can't do that. Too polarizing a figure. Him and his dad. Eddie Hearn, do your job. You've got Conor Benn promoting him like he's the best thing since sliced bread. Promote Conor Benn as the man who's going to get rid of Devin Haney and save boxing from Devin's boring fights. No matter where you hold that fight, you'll have a full gate and it will do great viewership. Trust me.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Essential Sports. Headline with David Benavidez versus Artur Beterbiev receives public backing despite Benavidez confirming that he's going to fight Zurdo Ramirez at 200. After Benavidez crushed Anthony Yarde on Saturday, they're saying people expected him to call out someone like unified champion Dmitry Bivol or even Artur Beterbiev. And for good reason. They're saying here that Yarde gave Beterbiev a good fight, a tough fight in 2023. He definitely gave Beterbiev more issues than what he gave Benavidez. I mean, Beterbiev is 40. Surely Benavidez must fancy his chances. Benavidez WBA regular champion, WBC full champion. Beterbiev is ranked number 1 with the WBA, number 1 WBC, number 1 WBO, and number 3 IBF. What do you guys think? Is he avoiding the smoke with Bivol, which would make him undisputed if he beat Bivol? Bivol's ahead of him in the Ring Magazine pound for pound rankings, and Benavidez keeps talking about how he hurt Bivol in sparring. The Benavidez-Beterbiev fight is definitely a fan favorite all day. Objectively speaking, it's not a good look if you leave light heavy without fighting either Bivol or Beterbiev. It's not a good look. Let's keep it real. Bivol already beat Zurdo, who Benavidez is saying he's signed to fight. Bivol washed Zurdo. Washed him. We need to see Benavidez versus Bivol. Benavidez versus Beterbiev. We need to see Zurdo versus Jai Pattaya. They're the fights we need to see. We don't need Benavidez and Zurdo. We don't need that fight right now. Beterbiev posted on social media, "All you ask me about is Benavidez Yarde. I saw it. Nothing new to me. We could have something better, isn't it? Over to Benavidez. What you gonna do?"
Oh, it's frustrating. There's no doubt about it. You know, you prepare yourself for one date, and then you get some rubbish about some fake injury, and and then you know you have to reset. But
it was all going so nice.
Hey, Frazer, I've got a good team, and we sorted that. It's no problem.
Frazer, no problem. But listen, if you carry on talking funny, I'm gonna move to you right now.
Huh? I'm me.
But I'll move to you right now.
Pack it in, Jamie. It's just words. You'll deal with it on Saturday, won't you?
Yeah, no problem. I will deal with you on Saturday, but
right.
Don't talk funny. Don't talk funny. Frazer, don't talk funny because I'll deal with you wherever you are, bro.
Because you're screwing your face up.
I will deal with you wherever you are, bro.
Jamie, wind your neck in. Chill out, son.
I mean, does that offend you? Hang on, Jimmy, hang on a second. Does that offend you that he's suggesting that the injury wasn't genuine?
No.
I'll move to you. I know where you were raised. That's some Tottenham lingo right there. I'll move to you. Jamie TKV, Frazer Clarke, British title. derby, Saturday the 29th, which clashes with what fight? Ben Whittaker versus Benjamin Gavazi in Birmingham. Something's telling me that this was concocted between JEAMIE, FRAZER and Ben Shalom to promote the fight in an attempt to get one up on Matchroom. The undercard will be on the BBC iPlayer, the main event will be on BBC Two. It was the BBC's decision to clash the dates. Lord knows why. They're only backing Boxer with 4 dates for the year, but they've decided to clash with Matchroom on Saturday. I mean, let's keep it real. Boxer and the BBC, they clashed with Frank Warren initially on October the 25th when Frank was staging Wardley versus Parker. They clashed the dates then. How do you manage to clash the dates with 2 rival promoters in this little small country? But TKV got injured. I'm going to have both devices on, DAZN and the BBC. I'm going to have both of them on and just select and alternate between what fights I want to see and which ones I don't. You have to wonder how serious the BBC are taking this return to boxing. How serious can they be taking it? Your first card, you clash with a rival broadcaster and promotion. And I've got no faith that both parties have communicated, so at least we can have a situation where Ben Whittaker's main event is at 9 or 9:30. TKV versus FRAZER is on at 10. At least come to some compromise. Let's see some common sense. For flip's sake, man.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.